piece I want to touch on. I know I mentioned I got nominated for NCAA Woman of the Year. And so they had a big convention where you go, they honor you, they name their Woman of the Year. And so I went to this convention. It was in January. It was in San Antonio. And so I go to the convention, obviously not in support because the award was immediately meaningless.
What's going on, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are having an excellent day. I hope you're all living your best life. And today we have to talk about Miss Riley Gaines. Now, if you don't know who Miss Riley Gaines is, she is a college swimmer. She competed against trans swimmer Leah Thomas in college, essentially. And since that's happened, she's become very vocal about women's spaces and women's sports being invaded by trans activists. And she seems to be getting a little flack by Megan Rapinoe, who is a professional woman soccer player who has kind of turned activist at this point. And the clip I just showed you is of her giving a lecture at a college and then simultaneously being completely heckled and bombarded by people who pretty much locked her in a room and refused to let her leave. Take a look.
This way.
Yeah, you fucking trans.
It's just me. I'm good. I'm trust me. You got me. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm good. I'm good. Trust me. I'm good. Go ahead.
You dress like a communist.
Make her lose her flight.
And move forward. Okay. Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go. $10 each. Because she probably got paid for this shit, so we could get paid for it too.
On a public campus that we attend.
So what's the end goal here? We're cooperating, so what's next?
So they need to do their job and get her out. We created a path. It's here.
I can't speak to all of you when we're over talking to each other. We're not going to hear each other.
Don't let her hold.
Then no, you're allowed to use. There's a difference. So what we want to do is maintain what we're doing right now, and as the speaker insists, we can continue our.
Yeah, so you've seen that. I used to think this was a lot more of a women's issue, which is why I never really said anything about it. I thought, hey, if women do not want trans women or trans men in their spaces, then female athletes should be the ones coming forward about it. However, I think Miss Riley Gaines here is a prime example of why that's not always applicable. Why, even if you are a woman in this space, you can be threatened, you can be assaulted, you can be pushed into a room, you can be held captive. So I wanted to just react to this real quick about Riley Gaines once again goes after Megan Rapinoe after originally deleting tweets. Riley Gaines doubled down on criticism of Megan Rapinoe late Tuesday morning. Former Kentucky swimmer called out Megan Rapinoe late Monday night for being fine with biological men competing against women in sports. She also claimed Rapinoe, who is gay, could never have a daughter to defend because she's not sexually attracted to men. Rapinoe, who signed a letter opposing a policy suggestion that would protect women's sports, could have a child through a sperm donor or adoption. Gaines later deleted the tweets early Tuesday morning. And here's what Megan Rapinoe said. Today, politicians in D.C. are claiming to protect women's sports by pushing a trans and intersex sports ban. Call your congressional rep today to say women's sports need protection from unequal pay, sexual misconduct, and lack of resources, not from trans people. And Miss Riley Gaines responds, it's worth noting that 1, you are done playing sports competitively, which is true. Megan Rapinoe, I think, is pushing 40 right now. And 2, because you aren't sexually attracted to men, you will never have a daughter to defend. To me, this simply looks like virtue signaling because you have nothing to personally lose. And I would say that's true. If you followed Megan Rapinoe's career, and I've only done it a little bit, she's been all rah about women not getting equal pay in the women's soccer league, but it's actually been proven that women get more benefits than men. But that doesn't matter to her because she's all about, her money and all that stuff. Riley Gaines goes on to say, I can respect opinions that differ from my own, and everyone is entitled to speak independently. But I can't help but think Megan Rapinoe, who would genuinely shiv any male who tried to take her spot on the U.S. women's national team, which I would say is too. She's a very aggressive female. Well, Gaines clearly has zero regrets about the spirit of her thoughts because she tweeted a very similar message again to the American soccer player. Specifically, she argued Rapinoe would lose if a man took her job, which she definitely would. There's actually clips of the women's soccer league getting blown out by like 15-year-old boys. So that's 100% true. The one key difference was she hedged on the part of having a child. The new tweet now reads, because you aren't sexually attracted to men, it's unlikely you will ever have a daughter to defend. Again, to be clear, the messages are very similar but not identical. She hedged in the second version about whether or not Rapinoe could have a kid, which, biologically she could, but since she is, attracted to females, and she's pushing 40, that's very unlikely. She tweeted in the second version it was unlikely instead of something that would never happen. Other than that, the message is the same, especially the part of Rapinoe losing her job to a man, which that would definitely happen. We've seen her get beaten out by 15-year-olds when she was like 30. Is there anyone who thinks Riley Gaines is wrong on that point? It's easy for Megan Rapinoe to not sweat about transgender males as none are attempting to play in the NWSL or the women's national soccer team. Exactly. Yeah, her space is safe, but she has no problem invading other women's spaces because now she's an advocate and she's trying to transition from a player into an advocate. Listen, I'm all about making your bag, and if you want to make a point, you really believe in something, then you should definitely do it. But I still am repeating myself over and over here with I fail to see why trans people cannot have their own leagues if they want to do so. And I don't understand why they need to invade women's spaces. And on the other end of the spectrum, this is not an issue for trans males or females, women transitioning into men. This is not an issue because they can't biologically compete in sports. I'm just trying to respect the integrity of women, all the gains they've made throughout history. I really do appreciate women. I had a great mother. I have a lovely daughter. And I don't think that all the gains they make throughout history should just be erased because men now want to, just make your own league. That's my point. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Leave a like on the video if you like what Riley Gaines is saying. Leave a dislike if you agree with Megan Rapinoe. Subscribe to the channel if you want to do both or neither. And I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you for listening this long. Later.